Okay, let's go ahead and duplicate this sheet. So right click, so duplicate sheet. Okay. Now let's remove the trend line. Okay. Now we're going to convert this into and remove the filter. We're going to keep all the sales, all of the sales. Now for forecasting, we're going to use the entire sales data, and then we're going to project it into the future. Let's have this down to month. Remove the quarter from here. So now we have 2012, 2013, 14, and 15, okay, going from January 2012 to December 2015. Okay. Want forecast, so double click on this forecast line, and we have 2016, and we have forecast plotted here. So it computes forecast based on some default assumptions. When we can change the default assumptions as we desire. So if you go to right click and go to forecast and go to forecast options, and that's where you get the parameters that you can control in terms of what kind of forecast we want. Okay. Now, so automatic forecast next 13 months, or you can change it to the time unit or how many periods into the future you want to go. Remember, one of the caveats is the farther you go out into the future, less reliable the forecast will be. So it's better to stay as close to the current time period as needed. Okay. And source of data, you can here change the source of data from months to year to whatever level of time bucket that you desire. Okay. And you can also ignore a certain number of periods if you think that the most recent period will not have an impact on the last period. So you can ignore some data points that you don't want to be included in the computation. Okay. And here is where you make changes into the forecasting model itself. And Tableau gives you not a whole lot of options, but a few, and they all from your forecasting knowledge, either from my forecasting class or from your operations class. Know that time series data will have trend and seasonality. Okay. These are the two that's normally present. Okay. Either present or not. You may have a time series with no trend, no seasonality. Trend is what? Trend is gradual increase over a long period of time. And seasonality is seasonal fluctuations that repeats every cycle, every seasonal cycle. Right? So you may have a time series with no trend, no seasonality, and that's called a stationary time series. The demand doesn't gradually go up or gradually or seasonally change. It just has some random fluctuations. Such a time series is called stationary time series. Or you could have one that has only long-term trend. There is no seasonal variation, just long-term trend. That's it. Okay. There could be some products with such a characteristic. Or there could be seasonal products and trend as well. So depending upon the kind of scenario that you are in, you can either leave it automatic, or you can say automatic without seasonality, or you can select custom, and here you can select what you want. Do you want a trend, and you want the trend to be additive or multiplicative? Remember, again going back to your forecasting class, forecasting lessons, you can set up a multiplicative model where you will multiply trend times seasonality, or you could have additive case where you have trend, multiplicative would be product, additive will be adding. So, and the difference here is if the seasonal fluctuations, the magnitude of seasonal fluctuations, if it remains about the same over period, then it will be additive. But if the magnitude changes, either increases or decreases, then the seasonality would be multiplicative. So you can make those choices here for trend and for seasonality, and for prediction interval, the level of confidence that you want. So I'm going to leave it as automatic, but you have all those choices available to you, and then Tableau will use those defaults when you set up your point estimate and your prediction interval band.